Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the best exercises to speed up your metabolism. If you're interested, definitely stick around. All right, these videos are getting more interesting for me. If you've noticed, a lot of those videos where they talked about all like the Eastern medicine stuff and just things in general that it's not common knowledge. I'm also not familiar with it because again, this is like esoteric stuff that you would want to go into. But stuff like this where it relates to the core M3, I'm very, very fascinated with. So let's recap ourselves on what the core M3 is. It's movement, metabolism, mindset, right? So if we're going to be talking about the top exercises to boost your metabolism, right? Boosting your metabolism, exercises, then we have to talk about movement. Movement. We'll have a whole series on movement just go look at the playlist. The playlist should have all that because we're gonna have all three cores as their own playlist. There'll probably be 100 videos per playlist, right? Because we want to do the 1 habit 100-day challenge, and each of those habits are gonna be movement, metabolism, mindset. So when you think of exercises, we want to think of movement, and when we think of movement, we want to think about our body moving in the X, Y, and Z. Right? So if you remember anything from grade school, and if you ever saw graph paper, usually things are in the X and Y coordinates, right? So the Y is the vertical one and the X is the horizontal one. But you also have a Z plane that comes out of it, and that allows spatial reality to be the way it is. So the fact that you can move front, back, side, up, down, and that's telling you X, Y, and Z. And so when you move your body, as you can see, majority of the movements that you do will probably just go in one direction or the other. A lot of us don't go side to side. I know for a fact I don't go side to side, and I also sleep on my side, which is another problem, but that's a video for another day. Now, understanding that, let's think about first what metabolism is, and then let's talk about the exercise that we can sort of speed it up. Now, metabolism, again, like I'm going to say in every video, it's how does your body process fuel, right? So fuel is in the form of food. Fuel could be in the form of oxygen. So whatever fuel that you're putting inside your body, how does it use it? And most common fuel types when you ingest it is going to be carbs, proteins, and fat. Carbs, proteins, and fats. And again, carbs are anything in sugary foods, baked goods, bready, anything bready, imagine it to be carbs. Proteins is more like, think of meat, think of shakes, like protein shakes, think of whey protein, think of anything that it just will allow you to get more of the building blocks of who you are. And of course, fats, anything that's fatty. So steak has like fat pieces. You can buy lots of food that have a lot of butter on it, oils on it. Those are types of fats that you can actually consume. So understanding that, that's what metabolism is. How do we take these sources and then use it as fuel? And what happens, a lot of us take so much fuel within our body that we actually have a surplus. And as a result of having that surplus, we're actually storing it. We're storing it within ourselves. And as a result of that, we're accumulating more and more fat. Now, we're good. You understand that. Now let's talk about the exercises, right? So in general, if we're saying that you need to be moving to activate your metabolism, because again, why does your metabolism get activated? Why do we need to use fuel? Is because there's an energetic requirement. Your body's like, hey, the standard homeostatic function of you doing this and that, we actually need more energy. We need to leverage more fuel. And so that's why moving is going to be so critical. And when I thought about it, right, I've been thinking really deep, like how do I get someone to do some sort of exercise or movement without them actually thinking they're doing any work? And my journey, my rabbit holes, my experience has brought me to the most fundamental basic exercise that everyone can do. Every single person can do. And I actually had a conversation with a really, really good colleague of mine yesterday about this exact question. And her response was actually walking. She recommended that's like the basic movement where if you walk, you move all parts of your body, which I completely agree. But again, we have to factor in what human nature is. If you do not want to walk, if you're not feeling that well, if you just in general are not optimistic about your health, it's going to be very difficult for you to put one and one together thinking, oh, if you walk, you're going to get healthy. And if you're not going to see the results right away, you're going to get a little upset and then you're going to just stop it right away. And that's going to be even worse because now you're going to regress even more to not actually improving yourself. So that's what I told you and what you probably thought as well. And comment below, letting me know, what do you think before I even mention it to you, what did you think the most basic exercise could be? All right, without further ado, the exercise that I'm talking about is actually breathing. I just took in 2 deep belly breaths, right? So this is a concept that's going to be very foreign to a lot of people, but in reality, it's been innate in us the whole time. Breathing is a mechanism that I've talked in other videos about it. More than likely, we'll get in so deep in the movement aspect of these videos, but just in general, when you are breathing, what you're doing is you're expanding the lungs, taking in oxygen from the environment, from the atmosphere, putting it into your lungs, these big balloon sacs, and then when you exhale, you're squeezing all that oxygen into your blood, and all the carbon dioxide, that's the waste product, the metabolic waste product, is now released into the system, into the environment. Think about that. That's a very powerful concept. And when you are breathing, you're not only doing a physical thing where you're moving your diaphragm, moving your ribs, moving your lungs, moving a bunch of stuff that's right here, but you're also doing chemical and electrical things as well. So the mechanical aspect is when you actually take in that mechanical breath. The chemical aspect is when you're exhaling, all that oxygen goes into you, into your blood. The blood is chemical, blood is liquid, fluid, and then you're releasing the carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. And the electrical part is you're actually charging up your cells. When you take in more oxygen, when cells have more oxygen access, it actually gets more charged up because you're giving it more energetics, because again, aerobic respiration is the most powerful form of respiration, the most powerful form of energy creation. You have it within you. So oxygen is amazing at that. So when you're doing this, you're charging it up, and that localized area gets charged up, and then your nerves that are there, they get charged up, and then it sends it back, the signals back up to your brain. And of course, you know, your whole brain system is all electricity, pure electricity, speed of light type of situation. It's in your body. You contain light in the form of electricity, which is within you. It doesn't seem like it, but you know, sometimes when you touch something that's electrical, all your hairs go up. My hairs are up right now, and it's because I'm excited. You know, the word excited has the word electricity in there in a way, if you think about it. So amazing, right? So breathing is the most foundational thing that you can do. And so the next logical question is, okay, I'm already breathing, why am I not losing weight? This is because you've been subconsciously breathing. Remember, your body has a way of just letting you process all information, whether it be food, whether it be survival, everything. A lot of it is automated in the back end, which is in your subconscious mind. The primitive mind, the reptilian mind, the animalistic mind, a lot of these are automated from that process. So when you're breathing, depending on your lifestyle, you're probably not breathing really deeply. You're probably breathing really shallow and just like type of situation. But when you actually do controlled breathing through these, you know, meditations, breathwork guided, in general, this is going to help you actually activate your breathing apparatus. So what I recommend and what I do every single day, well, actually, I'm not going to recommend what I do every single day. You need to get to that point because you need to do hours and hours and like thousands of hours of controlled breathing, conscious breathing to actually understand the mechanism that exists within you. But for the beginning, I would recommend doing maybe 10 minutes of breathing, of controlled breathing. Just type in 10 minutes guided breath work on YouTube, and hopefully I can put up a link to the one I have in the comments below, in the description below. But in general, I want you to do the breathing, and I want you to feel what you feel after that, right? So, you know, more than likely you'll have your hand on your heart, left hand on the belly, and then you'll exaggerate the diaphragmatic breathing. And you're gonna notice that, holy shit, you're getting a lot more energy. Why? Because you're allowing your body to get more fuel. Again, we always think of metabolism as food, carbs, protein, and fat, which is what I described in the beginning. But you also have oxygen as fuel. Your oxygen, your body goes under something called aerobic respiration. And when it doesn't, that's when it leverages those biochemicals of proteins, fats, and carbs as anaerobic respiration, because eventually it all goes back into the sugar pathway. And the sugar pathway is so primal to every single one of us that we use that for a fuel source primarily. But of course, we can use oxygen as fuel as well. Okay, great. With that being said, guys, I hope you understand the power of the breath, and I spent a good amount of time talking about the breath, and I want to make sure you understand it because that's the bare minimum activity that BMA, the bare minimum activity, or the MBA, the minimum bare activity, the MBA, for you to actually get your body into the movement patterns that are required for you to activate your metabolism to even burn more fuel. So as you are doing the breath work, not only are you getting more energy, but you're also burning more energy because all the carbs and the fats that are required to give you the energy to actually do the mechanical movements also get leverage as well. With that being said, guys, hopefully you found some value in it, and definitely hit me up in the comments letting me know what you thought of it. Was there any benefit to you doing breathing? What is your recommendation of the breathwork? Maybe you found a really cool one that I should try as well. So we'll take a look at that. With that being said, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.